Welcome back to the Built Local podcast. Today we have Candido calling in out of New Jersey with his pet waste removal business. Candido, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Clay?
I'm doing awesome. Excited to be here. For anybody who doesn't know who you are or anything about your business, go ahead and give us a little bit of your backstory.
Sure. So my name's Candido. I'm a United States Marine veteran, but I got out some time ago, like 10 years ago.
Thank you for your service, man.
I appreciate it. So when I got out the military, I kind of just went into the regular workforce, but I always wanted to open up a business. When I started looking into what to do, I just wanted to open up something that was low overhead. I didn't want to invest too much money in something that could potentially fail.
Yeah.
And I did my research and I came across dog waste removal. And I said, you know what, this actually sounds like a pretty good idea. And I'm from New Jersey, and I don't know how other states are with this business, but there's not many in New Jersey, specifically where I'm located in South Jersey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I got into it. I said, this is needed here. Let me be the one to start it. And it was such a great idea, and it's been doing really well since.
That's incredible. That's incredible. When did you officially start the business?
Yeah, September of 2024. I want to say it's been a year and a half. I don't want to give an exact date just because it started September of 2024, I believe, but in reality, I would say January of last year. So was really when we had our first customer.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, awesome. So pretty much a year and a couple months in now. When you were getting started, there's probably a lot of people listening to this who are just now getting started. What was kind of your strategy and approach for getting your first 10 to 20 clients?
Good question. So when I got started, I knew if I'm going to do this, I need to be all in. And I did. I ended up getting one of our personal vehicles wrapped right away before I even had a first customer. Professionally got a website done. I really went all in I knew it would succeed just because that's the mindset that I have and just the research that I did. When I got leads, vehicle wrap, good website, and posting on social media like a crazy man. And I still do.
Yeah. Define posting on social media like a crazy man for somebody listening to this. What were you doing? Where are you going? Where were you posting? What photos? What content? What were you doing?
Yeah. So I'm located in South Jersey. So first thing I did was try to find any kind of community groups out there. I like the ones that you have to meet a criteria to join just because they're not overloaded with other people's businesses and ads, and those get overlooked. So I looked at every group that I could possibly join that fit that criteria throughout my county. I do a 45-minute radius for my dog waste removal business. I don't touch anything else as far as right now goes. So anything within that radius, all cities that have groups, I joined, and then I paid attention to when you were allowed to post in that group and wrote it down. Every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the case was, I'm posting. I'm posting pictures of my vehicle wrap. I'm posting pictures of the jobs that we've done. And one of the tools that I like to utilize is ChatGPT that can create good just ads, just something different that customers see. But posting on a regular basis, consistency. That's key.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, so many people have used that strategy to get their business off the ground, and it's free. Anybody can do it. Takes a little bit of sweat equity of making the content and taking the photos and stuff, but it's pretty easy. It's not rocket science. It's just the consistency of showing up. And so it sounds like that was able to start, getting the ball rolling, getting some leads in. From there, after you got your first 10, 20 customers and stuff, what have y'all done to get customers and grow?
One of the things we've done was paid advertisement through Facebook. That's always been our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Besides the free stuff we post in group chats. I really haven't dabbled into Google advertising yet, but I have a reason as to why. The main reason is because of you. I just want to point that out. My Google reviews, I'm at close to 100 right now.
Yeah.
And I hear it all the time when customers sign up. I've heard it plenty of times that I may not be first on the list, but I have the most reviews. And if you're like myself, whether I'm going out to eat, whether I'm going shop, whatever the case is, I go on Google, I check out the reviews. So that's helped tremendously. I have 5 stars all around, close to 100. I'm at 90 right now. You've helped more than double. I can't remember the exact numbers, but that's helped me so much. And I haven't even spent a penny on Google advertisement. Just
Yeah.
looking at the customers looking at the reviews has helped me.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And that's why we do it. It's like what the thing that sucks about any sort of advertising is that it's just like a faucet. You turn the faucet on and you're getting stuff, whatever. But as soon as you quit spending money and turn that faucet off, everything
Right.
goes down the drain. But that Google business profile and those reviews, it's like collecting it all in a bucket. It's like all the reviews you get, we can collect them and they'll be there forever. You don't have to spend money on them anymore. And so that's so exciting to hear. But when it comes to Facebook advertisement, I think specifically, like you said, you're in an area where you don't have a ton of competition, which normally means that the homeowners are not as aware that this is even a service as other places. And so you got to go to Facebook to basically interrupt their doom scroll and try and show them that this is a service. So what are your ads like? Are you running them yourself? Are you filming content? What do they look like?
So I run the ads myself. I usually like to run ads that just go to my website so that way they can just familiarize themselves with what we actually do and what we offer. So that's pretty much what I do for Facebook.
Awesome.
And
And
then
then,
as far as what I generate, I mean, like I said, I switch it up from time to time, but I like to take photos of myself, the work
yep.
truck, what we do, and that usually draws in a lot of leads.
For sure, for sure. It's crazy how simple it can be. Photos of a friendly face in front of you, what you're doing and stuff can perform really well. I've said it before on the channel before, but I had a home service client in Florida who does driving cleaning, and his highest converting ad to date was just a photo of him and his wife and his baby. That's it. It was just a photo of his family, and he just said, "Do you need driving cleaning services or whatever?" And yeah, it's his best ad today. And so I love how simple it can be sometimes. Real quick, if you're a local business owner and you want to start getting customers from Google, you know how important Google reviews are. Every week, I talk to business owners just like you across hundreds of industries who know reviews matter, but never seem to have the time or the system in place to actually get them. That's exactly why I've spent the last 2 years building Review Harvest. We built it with a non-tech savvy business owner in mind so anybody can set it up in minutes and start getting reviews today. It automates the process of getting real reviews from your customers, responding to those reviews, and repurposing them across your website and across your social media platforms. It's a set it and forget it software. You can get it all set up in about 10 minutes and you never have to worry about reviews again. We can integrate into the tools you're already using so you don't have to change a thing. You don't have to train your team on how to request reviews. You don't have to request them manually. You get customers, we get your reviews. It's simple as that. And the first play in our playbook is what we call a review reactivation. You probably have hundreds or thousands of previous customers who loved your service but never left your review. So a lot of times our users can double or even triple their reviews just in the first couple months of working with us when we do that review reactivation. But okay, so you've grown a lot. Just for context, so you've been in it for barely over a year now. Just for context, how many customers have you served or are you serving now? About.
So we serve a couple hundred customers. As far as recurring, we're over 100 right now.
Awesome. Very incredible. Very incredible. And when it comes to growing as fast as you have, what's been kind of the hardest, challenge that you've experienced in the last year or so trying to grow?
Let's say that you have peak seasons and you have slow seasons. So the key is to retain the customers all year round.
Yeah.
And I would say that hasn't necessarily been a challenge, but it's something that if you're coming into this business, you have to expect.
Yeah.
And the key is provide good service, find ways to keep customers even during the slow months. I mean, even, when what happens is you have spring rush. For some reason here in New Jersey, I'm not sure how it is for, we have all weather here, right? Winter, summer, spring. Summertime, we lose a little bit more customers just because people are going on vacation. But you have to try your best to keep those customers. Whether you offer a certain deal, whether you just say, hey, maybe it makes sense to go bi-weekly instead of weekly, whatever you do to retain customers. But to go back a little bit, if you're providing good customer service, if you're doing a good job when you're scooping and you're just keeping customers happy, they're going to want to keep you. I find that customers fall in love with the service after we start scooping. They don't want to get rid of you. So good service.
That's awesome. And has there been anything in particular that you've done to try and keep customers? I've talked to people before who will like try and call them or text them or do stuff to kind of increase that personal touch. But is there anything that you've done that's been special to try and keep entertaining clients longer?
Not necessarily. I would say just by being, what's the word? Not persistent, but just doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
Like I believe in whatever you do in life, do a good job. right? Maybe that's
Mhm.
the military mindset of me. But
Yeah.
if you're scheduled on this day, we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
If we're not gonna miss any. Well, try not to miss any poop when we're there, but we're gonna do a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
If you call the office, we're gonna answer. If you
Yeah.
send an email, we're gonna respond. I try to, well, not that I try. I do treat this business as a professional business. Just because
Yeah.
it's a dog waste removal business, if you're generating money, it's a business, and that's what it is. So
Yeah.
I try to treat it as such and
Yeah.
give my customers the best customer service that they can get.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, it's clear from your reviews that your customers appreciate you and rave about y'all. Since you've been doing this for over a year now, do you have any crazy stories? Do you have any crazy pet waste removal stories of you out in the field scooping, or someone else, or a particular client that you've served, or a call you've gotten?
Receiving a call when I first started. It was like a church. I don't know. There was homeless people that hung out around the church, and it was to pick up human feces. That's what it was. So unfortunately, I had to pass on that job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
But
thank
I would
you.
say that's by far the strangest request that we had.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Like they didn't read the description of your business there.
Right.
Pet waste
The
removal.
fine print at the bottom. We don't handle
Yeah,
anything.
that's hilarious. Well, when it comes to kind of your military background and the things you did before pet waste removal, how do you think that has served you or helped you grow your business so fast?
Big time. I would say discipline and attention to detail. When it comes to discipline, it's just, man, like knowing when things have to get done and just doing it.
Yeah,
The hardest thing for me when I first started was just kind of like pulling the trigger, right? But
yeah,
knowing it needs to get done, so let's go. What do I have to do to get this done? And that's exactly what I did and continue to do, and paying attention to detail with everything that I do, with the website that I had created for my business, with the vehicle wrap that I also done, everything. I pay very close attention because it matters the most, in my
yeah,
opinion, in this
yeah.
business.
For sure. That's awesome. Well, what are your plans for Pooper Scooper Squad here in the next couple years? Where do you hope to be, and how do you plan to get there?
So right now, I'm actually in the process of trademarking my business. A
Awesome.
few months in, hopefully within the next couple months, I'll have more of a answer if it's approved
Yeah.
or not, or check which avenues to go from there.
Hmm.
I'm debating if I want to eventually franchise. I say eventually because I am still new in the business. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I still want to tackle different locations,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something that I have in mind. I feel like I do have, within a year and a half being in this business and growing as fast as I have and netting a good amount of my gross profits.
Hmm.
I think that I can make this happen within a few years of either licensing out or franchising.
Awesome. Awesome. Really cool. That's very, very exciting. But I know you kind of touched on it a little bit already, but what's been your experience with Review Harvest so far? I know you got started, let's see, I had it pulled up a second ago. You got started in March. No, wait, that's not right. There we go. You got started this time last year, actually, the end of April last year. What's your experience been like with Review Harvest so far?
And I'm not saying it just because I'm on your podcast. I would say this I would recommend you to any business.
Yeah.
From the beginning to now, it's been breeze. You have taken so much stress off my shoulders just because initially before you, it was a one-man business. This was before I even hired technicians. I'm there doing the scheduling. I'm there scooping. Right after I'm scooping, I'm creating my text message to send to the customer to leave a
Yeah.
Google review. Then they don't leave it. Then I'm following up. It's just a lot to
Yeah.
handle. And with you, it's just an easy process. You sign up, right? And you do all the work.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And the fact is, when I was trying to get Google reviews, it wasn't working. It
Mm.
wasn't working. I mean, I maybe had 30 reviews. I forget what it was. But
Yeah.
when you started doing this, they were responding to you. I got the So you've been a blessing. I really, really appreciate you and what your business. But it's made a big difference. And just to touch
Awesome.
base again, Google reviews matter.
Yeah.
I don't pay a dime to Google for advertisements, but
Yeah.
my Google reviews help me get customers. So thank
Yeah.
you.
I love it. I love it. Super glad to hear it. And there's still a lot of business owners out there, surprisingly, that don't know how important reviews are. So it's awesome for them to hear from yourself. And then last thing we always kind of love to close out with is there's a lot of probably home service business owners listening to this who are just starting their business, or they're struggling to grow their business and kind of get some traction and momentum. And they probably are in search of some advice. And as somebody who's been doing this for a little over a year now and growing pretty quickly, what's about 60 seconds worth of wisdom that you would share with somebody listening?
I would say to be consistent and be reliable and set a plan, okay, and
Yeah.
execute. All right, those three things I would say are core values that anyone that's wanted to start a business or even has a business, if you follow those three things, you would do fine. Okay,
Yeah.
customers want the reliability.
Yep.
They want you to constantly perform good work. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would say those three things.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, it's like, the fact is right now I am in a like a 2 month long, not the war is the wrong word, but our cable company, or the company that's supposed to be installing fiber in our neighborhood. I have been going to their website and scheduling appointments for literally months now. And they've, out of like the 6 appointments I've scheduled, once they've shown up, and they showed up and like, hey, we don't have fiber pulled. We don't have fiber pulled to your house, so we need to pull it. I was like, okay, well, when's that getting done? And it's just like I've just been in this limbo of like not knowing anything. They're not showing up when they say they're going to show up. They're not being consistent in terms of responses, anything like that, and it just creates an awful customer journey. And I don't like to leave negative reviews, but I really want to just absolutely hammer their Google business profile. But yeah, no, so definitely, I love that advice. Well, Candido, we'll have your stuff linked down below in the description. So if you are in the Jersey area and you're in search of poop scooping services, then definitely make sure to hit them up. But what's the best place for somebody to get in touch with you if they have any questions or about poop scooping and stuff like that?
Yeah, visit our website, www.pooperscoopersquad.com, or feel free to text us or call us at 8.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it, Candido. Well, I appreciate your time and have a
Thank you,
great
Clay.
weekend.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.